Thor's axe Stormbreaker is potentially one of the most powerful weapons forged in the MCU to date, with Eckardt the Dwarf King regarding the weapon as one of legend, fit for a king. Eckardt viewed this weapon as a fabled hypothetical, having never crafted something this powerful in his millennia-long career as the premier blacksmith for the Nine Realms. But even with this fabled reputation and remarkable craftsmanship, how was Stormbreaker able to overpower the might of all 6 of the assembled Infinity Stones? The Infinity Stones were crafted at the dawn of the universe, each of them embodying the ability to tap into and manipulate each of the 6 fundamental forces of the universe itself. These incredible powerful artifacts quite literally have the ability to bend and twist the fabric of existence to the user's will. So how were they able to be beaten by Stormbreaker, no matter how powerful it may have been? Stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we explain exactly that. As we break down how exactly Thor's new weapon Stormbreaker was able to take on the might of not one Infinity Stone, but all 6 stones assembled in the Infinity Gauntlet. This video is actually an updated take on a video that we made almost 3 years ago, but given a revitalization of interest in this topic and new information having come to light, we felt an updated version was in order. Therefore, while much of the information is being reused, we also have updated information that allows us to conduct a more in-depth analysis. With that out of the way, let's dive straight into it. The first aspect that is worth exploring is how both Stormbreaker and the Infinity Gauntlet were constructed. They were both constructed from the legendary Uru metal, known and used primarily by the Asgardian forces and the blacksmiths of Nidavellir. Stormbreaker in particular was constructed to amplify and strengthen the power of the user, ensuring that whomever would wield it would have the power to rule and protect all of Asgard. For Thor, Stormbreaker was meant to enhance his power and unlock his full potential as the heir to the Asgardian throne, whereas Mjolnir was more of a security blanket, allowing him to channel and master his powers without ever discovering his true potential. Mjolnir held Thor back by channeling his power and funneling it, whereas Stormbreaker was meant to unlock the Thunder God's full capabilities. This is done by absorbing a user's power and amplifying it, which likely allowed Stormbreaker to absorb much of the energy that Thanos fired from the Infinity Gauntlet itself, at least for a long enough time to cut through his blast and impale Thanos in the chest. However, one of the most often overlooked aspects of the scene is that upon rewatching it, we are able to see that Thanos fired first. Thanos never fired the beam of energy with the intent of stopping Stormbreaker. If that were the case, he could have used the Reality Stone to turn Stormbreaker into a pillow, or used the Space Stone to catch it in mid-flight. In reality, the true intent of the blast wasn't stopping Stormbreaker, but was temporarily incapacitating Thor long enough to snap his fingers and then escape. Throughout the course of Infinity War, Thanos is quite noticeably holding back, only using the power that is necessary to incapacitate the Avengers and meet his goal of acquiring all 6 stones. After all, the power was used to decimate an entire planet, yet Thanos only used a fragment of the power to strip Tony Stark's armor away from him little by little, until he was able to overpower him, only deciding to kill him out of pure necessity before Doctor Strange stepped in. He spares lives wherever possible, allowing Drax and Mantis to retain their human forms after using the Reality Stone on them on Nowhere, and simply tossing aside the Wakandan Armada as they made their last stand against him in the closing moments of Infinity War. Thanos traps Black Widow beneath some debris, embeds Bruce Banner in a cliffside, and crushed the War Machine armor while still sparing Rhodey's life, who could have easily been killed had Thanos crushed the armor by just a few more inches. The rest of the human forces he simply tosses aside like ragdolls, the likes of Buckley, Okoye, and Black Panther simply swatted aside, and even Steve Rogers, who made not only one, but 2 last-ditched attempts to stop the Mad Titan, was only knocked out temporarily. In our first video, we theorized that he did this because he knew the risk of destroying the Gauntlet. He knew that it was highly likely that using the full potential of the stones would overload and then damage the Gauntlet itself, much like the Snap would later. If the Gauntlet was damaged beyond usability, then he would have no way to complete his mission. Now though, we have further evidence to suggest that this was not the only reason that Thanos was holding back. According to this theory, Thanos holds back not just to avoid damaging the Gauntlet, but also because he wants the Snap to decide who lives and who dies. In Infinity War, Thanos doesn't see himself as a god who gets to determine the fate of others. simply as a survivor who is the only one left who has the will to do what needs to be done. Therefore, he wants to stay true to his goal, which was a random, dispassionate culling of half of the population. He simply refuses to exert his willpower over who gets to live and who gets to die according to this updated analysis. Infinity War never once showcases the power limit of one singular stone at any given time before the snap. Thanos could have killed every one of the Earthbound heroes as they fought to keep him away from Wanda and Vision with the thought. Yet, he actively didn't and decided not to. Given this context, we are able to look at this beam of energy that he fires at Thor in a brand new light, as this beam was only a fragment of the total potential of the Infinity Stones. Therefore, Stormbreaker wasn't actually channeling the might of all 6 of the Infinity Stones together. Instead, it was channeling a beam of energy designed to knock Thor back and simply keep him out of the way, as Thanos had done time and time again. This quite simply could have been nothing more than Thanos deciding to trap the Hulkbuster armor in a cliff face, or destroy the War Machine armor without killing Rhodey, albeit on a power level that had to be amplified to match Thor's durability. Thor has been knocked back and taken beatings from the likes of the Hulk, been held in place by Ultron, insinuating that Ultron was strong enough to at least resist the God of Thunder, and even awakened Thor was battled by the likes of Hela and Hulk, was badly burned by the force of a star, and was overpowered by Thanos aboard the Statesman, with only the Power Stone at Thanos' disposal. We also have one final theory to propose, however, as to why Stormbreaker was able to overpower the Infinity Gauntlet. We know one of the most powerful aspects of Stormbreaker is the ability to summon the Bifrost, essentially allowing Thor to teleport himself anywhere throughout the 9 realms. It's quite possible that instead of Stormbreaker absorbing the energy of all 6 of the Infinity Stones placed together, that it is actively utilizing the Bifrost to channel the energy from the Infinity Stones to another place in the 9 realms where it cannot impact anybody. Therefore, instead of Stormbreaker taking on the might of all 6 of the Infinity Stones together, it was simply taking that energy and dispersing it to another location. We do see that Thanos is able to slow Stormbreaker somewhat, implying that not all of the energy was placed in another location by the Bifrost. This idea, though, is one of my personal favorite theories, and I think it explains a lot as to exactly why Stormbreaker was able to take on the might of all 6 of the assembled stones. In reality, it wasn't really taking on all 6 of the stones, simply utilizing the Bifrost to place the energy elsewhere. Along with the other reasons proposed in this video, I think it makes sense as to why Stormbreaker was able to go head to head with the Infinity Gauntlet. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this theory? Do you think that Thanos was holding back? And if so, do you think it was to preserve the Gauntlet, or because he wanted to snap to randomly decide who gets to survive the decimation? I would love to hear your thoughts and theories on this video in the comments down below. And were you surprised in Infinity War when Stormbreaker seemingly overpowered the Gauntlet? As always, my friends, hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.